Yo, 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 yo. Yo, yo. What's good with it? It's the homie Mac. Music, art, culture, knowledge. Reporting live from the Dogon. Each one teach one, peace and love. This is another session of Mac Minutes. Yeah, I switched it up a little bit. There used to be a picture of Nipsey Hussle behind me. R.I.P. to Nipsey the Great. I have replaced him. Can't replace Nip, but you know, in context of a picture. I replaced the picture I had of Nipsey with the Black American Heritage flag. Red standing for, the blood that black men and black women have shed on behalf of our liberation, our pursuit of liberation, self-determination. The black standing for our people, and the gold with the reef. I remember it stands for knowledge, intellect. I forgot. There's one more thing that it stands for, but that's what comes to my mind right now that I can recall off memory. But yeah, it's the homie Mac. I want to talk about the Titan submarine. I feel really conflicted, but let me go over the dynamics at play here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so it's not actually. Some people don't even consider it to have been a submarine. They just call it a submersible, which means it's something that could go underwater. Which is something I wouldn't trust. But first off, I want to say R.I.P. to Hamish Harding. I want to say R.I.P. to Shahzada Dawood and his son Suleiman. R.I.P. to Paul Henry Nargiolet. And to Stockton Rush. Rest in peace. The length of the Titan submarine or submersible had a length of 22 feet and the capacity of 5 people for 96 hours. That 96-hour span was, I guess, the air supply. They went over 13,000 feet into the ocean. And let me first say this. I heard we've only explored 5% of the ocean. There's 95%. The knowledge we are 95% as a human species when it comes to nautical things, all things involving the ocean, more specifically. We are ignorant to 95% of it. We only have 5% knowledge of the ocean. I actually have been told that we know more about the galaxy and the heavens that go beyond the heavens. We have a deeper knowledge base of that than we do the actual ocean. These people, when they went in the Titan, they went to deeper depths than some animals can go to and survive. And they literally have the hardware to live underwater, and they can't go beyond. They can't go as deep as the Titan went. Now, apparently, there's a company called Oceans. Let me make sure I got it right. The company is called Ocean Gate, and basically Ocean Gate, if you go to the website, they do nautical expeditions. You want to go on the water, you want to see some cool stuff, they got you. I'm sure their stock has dropped now though, due to the depths. And the Titan was actually controlled by pretty much like a PS5 controller. There wasn't a lot of autonomy of the people that were actually in the submarine Titan, which alone would make me not want to do it. But I'm a science nerd, so I get the curiosity. Scientific curiosity is a different kind of curiosity into itself. So I get it. Just being scientifically curious, it's a wonderful thing. They wanted to see the remains of the Titanic. I want to say No, I don't know the actual coordinates. I don't know exactly what part of the ocean they were in. I can't tell you that. But they actually, it's believed that from the pressure, the oceanic pressure, actually caused the Titan to actually implode or to like collapse. So that's a painful way to go. But I would imagine that they didn't feel anything. They just went out like that. I would hate to think that they were suffering, submerged underwater. There wasn't a lot of leg room in the Titan. It looked like you had to sit in an Indian style for everybody to get in there. I've heard some conspiracy theories. These are wealthy millionaires, multimillionaires who want to get off the grid so they can do what they want to do with their money. I've heard that theory. I've also heard, dumbass white folks or dumbass rich people, wealthy people doing what they want to do with their money because they think they're bigger than life. And I get that. I can understand that cynicism to an extent. But what's really disheartening to me is like, people died. And I don't think that you have to make a certain amount of money or not make a certain amount of money for me to feel bad about you dying. But I get it. There's 1% of the people that own the world's wealth. There are a lot of people, some people will say, well, Mac, poor people die every day. And I get it. And I understand that I think ultimately the culprit is capitalism. There's a lot of greed. So I understand why people are saying, eat the rich, down with the rich. I get the disdain, I get the contempt because there are a lot of people who are making money off of the sufferings of other people. I get it. And I think the problem of the human heart is the human heart. We can be we can show a lot of avarice. We can be very avaricious, a lot of greed. It is unfortunate that we live in a world where 1% of the people that live on this earth, control the majority of the world's wealth. And it sucks that we live in a world where people can spend over $250,000 to go plunge to their death or to even explore the ocean. And within the same world, we have people who literally do not know if they're going to eat every day. Again, I think the culprit is capitalism. But I think the irony in all this is I've seen people make jokes about this, make jokes about the people dying, very hypercynical, a lot of off-colored jokes, unsavory jokes. But my thing is I've seen these very same people argue about Jay-Z's net worth, argue about how Puff Daddy has more money than Dr. Dre or other way around, argue about the net worth of celebrities. So it's like pick and choose. Like what's what? It's like now you have. It's like how are you going to make fun of wealthy people dying, but to the same end you argue about who has more money amongst wealthy people, as if it were yours. Like I've seen people almost come to tears, give these long diatribes about how much money Jay-Z has in relation to Lil Wayne or Nas. It's just like, come on, what are we really doing here? And I guess at the end of the day, I think people want money, people want power. And I think in the pursuit of wealth, it has made a lot of us less humane. Again, I get it. Like my homeboy texted me, he was like, man, people die every day, B. What makes these people so special? And I guess the thing is, I guess inherently what made them more special is that they had money. So I know she may think I'm talking with forked tongue. I'm not. I'm just simply saying whether you have money or not have money should not dictate your value as a person. But being that we live in the world that we live in, we do pay more attention to people with money. It just is what it is. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I want to go into more specifics of OceanGate. OceanGate Expeditions says it designed Titan to carry up to 5 people. To carry up to 5 people to a depth of 4,000 meters, 13,120 feet. The wreckage of the cruise ship Titanic sits on the ocean floor about 3,800 meters, 12,500 feet below the surface. Titan weighs over 21,000 pounds and can travel at a speed of 3.5 miles per hour. using electric thrusters. OceanGate says it is equipped with powerful LED lights, a sonar navigation system, and high-end camera equipment. It has a single porthole. And I guess my thing is like, we should have just sent an inanimate object that we can use to actually see it. If y'all wanted to see the Titanic wreckage, but to actually go down there, I think that just was not a good move. Like, you're going to depths of the ocean that submariners don't even want to go. Navy SEALs don't even want to go. People who are oceanographers don't even want to go because they know it's not safe. OceanGate says Titan has a life support system that can keep 5 people alive for up to 96 hours. Titan's carbon fiber walls are 5 inches thick, and the vessel is capped at each end with titanium domes. According to David Pogue, a CBS News journalist who traveled on Titan last year, he had to sign a liability waiver describing the vessel as experimental and acknowledging a risk of injury or death. Once passengers are inside, the hatch is bolted shut. Passengers generally sit on the floor, leaning their backs against a curved wall. There is a rudimentary toilet aboard. One of the things, like the Titan, it looked like a tiger tooth on the outside. Again, not very big at all. The vehicle is operated using a video game controller. OceanGate workers on the surface ship track the location of Titan and send text messages to the pilot with navigation instructions. It is launched from a small platform that can be carried out to sea aboard a commercial ship and submerged a few dozen meters below the surface. What did I just knock over? It's unfortunate that these people have to die. And I guess I understand, again, the cynicism and the frustration, because it's like, wait a minute. There are people that are dying that are poor, that are struggling to survive every day. Yet these hella wealthy people who didn't have to die. They did it just on some experimental stuff. I want to see. So I understand the ire. I understand the frustration. And maybe, the jokes are just coming from a cynical space, and not necessarily because they don't value these people's lives or think that somehow their life didn't have value. I'm open to that. But I guess my thing is, when we're talking about capitalism, your 401k is blood money. The pair of shoes you bought, especially if you're a Nike head, chances are somebody makes 20 cents an hour to make those shoes in a so-called third world country. The poor have always been exploited. So, and I'm not saying that this is okay. I'm saying, like, hey, let's get off the internet and do something about it. If we want equity, if we want, for the wealth gap to somehow become lessened, and I guess for things to be fair and there to be universal equity, I'm for that. I just think people ain't really about that life. And on top of that, I just think the issue again of the human heart is the human heart. I think people are just inherently very much very avaricious, very greedy, very much me. And I don't think capitalism made people that way. I think maybe like capitalism is just survival mode on 10. And unfortunately, you have a lot of people with a lot of resources, a lot of money, who are not necessarily the most humane people. Not saying that I do believe that there are people who are philanthropists, people who do make a lot of money, who have a lot of wealth, that are humane, who are humanitarians. But I guess my thing is, what was it, Kwame Nkrumah? Kwame Nkrumah said that capitalism is but a gentleman's form of slavery. And he's right. But I don't know what can be done, but maybe democratic socialism, I don't know. I don't know what can make the world more equitable. What can make things more fair? I don't know. And I guess that's what frustrates me. I can clearly outline the problem. I think capitalism and white supremacy go hand in hand. I think white supremacy is justified or verified through capitalism. Like, there has to be a bottom caste. It just so happens that the darker you are, inherently the lesser you are considered on the spectrum. Yeah, these are just my thoughts. Again, RIP to all the victims. I'm hoping that we won't be so. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're too far gone as a species. But I just wish there was more universal equity. There was more universal justice. It does sadden me that there are people who live in so-called underdeveloped third world countries who their resources are exploited. And it's a trickle-down effect to people like me and you who we may go to the grocery store, buy a t-shirt, buy pants, shoes, whatever. In our own way, we contribute to this disequilibrium. So I guess my thing is looking in the mirror and ask ourselves, we need to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, do we really want to fix this problem? And I think that I think we have the ability to. I just don't know if we have the character to. I don't know. But yeah, being in the medical field, I just have a lot of compassion for life itself because I see biologically how we're all interconnected, and I do feel like people become people through other people. Meaning we interact with people, we develop culture or culturation, we grow, we create language. I think humans do a lot of dope things. I just feel like it's unfortunate. Again, this universal spectrum, this system of capitalism, it's about winners and losers. And I don't necessarily consider myself a Marxist. But I do agree with a lot of Karl Marx's critiques of capitalism. But I'm of the mind now where I think with any system, whatever man touches, we're bound to corrupt it and mess it up in some way. So again, I think the issue is the human heart. So forget the isms, the schisms, the systems. I can think, like my dad would always say, most things are good until you get people involved. People will find a way to mess it up. But yeah, it's the homie Mac, man. Each one teach one, peace and love. Check me out on Instagram, The Shogun 357. I got a couple book reviews.